These are vibes from Venus, where the mind learns how to breathe. We sit with truth, unpack the feelings, and let the soul speak honestly.
Well, hello, everybody. This is LaShawna D. Hinton. I am your host of Vibes from Venus, and we are here today for episode 12. And the title of the show is called The Architecture of Anchors. Uh-oh. All right. So we're just going to jump right on in today. We're going to get on with the first lash of the show, and we're going to talk about some things, okay? So first point I'm going to make, this is the first lash. So you want to establish the core of psychology, or of the psychological reality of an anchor. So in a world obsessed with constant movement and eternal validation, an anchor isn't a weight that holds you back, right? It's the internal gravity that keeps you from being swept away by everyone else's storms. Says boundaries are like between adaptation and losing your identity. Flash over. Let's jump into an early segment. So there's some questions for you guys, okay? All right, so first question I want to ask about this architecture of anchor, okay? So when the world around you gets chaotic, what is the first, like the very first internal boundary you notice slipping? Another question. Are you currently anchoring yourselves in who you are? Or are you anchoring yourselves in the roles you perform for other people? I think our last couple episodes have been really trying to tell somebody that they put themselves first. My mind is just in the galaxy coming up with stuff, and here you go. Question number 3. How do you distinguish between a healthy anchor that gives you stability and a heavy chain that is simply keeping you stagnant? I don't have a segment 2. Let's dive right into the architecture, okay? So transition into sociological aspect. All right, so how do we maintain our internal architecture when society constantly demands that we remodel ourselves for public consumption? This is about building a foundation so quiet yet solid that it doesn't need to shout to be felt. You don't need to scream at the top of your lungs about everything. Hide some stuff. People don't need to know what you're working on or what you're doing until it's done. Sometimes things fall through. Just saying. So, question number 4. What is one truth about yourself that you refuse to compromise on. So no matter what the environment is, no matter what you walk into, you refuse wholeheartedly to compromise. I have one. I'm not gonna share it with y'all, but I do have one. Drop your hearts. Hey, I'm ready to unpack some stuff. Where y'all at? Fifth question. If you stripped away all the noise, the titles, and the expectations of others, what is the quietest piece of your foundation that remains standing? That's a very good question. What's left? Gotta have something left. Segment. I want to talk about the path of stillness. Okay. We want to prepare our minds for transitioning into quiet luxury. And if you don't know what quiet luxury is by now, that means you haven't watched any of my episodes. Michael Jordan, cry face. Lucky for you, you can always go back and watch or rewatch any of Vibes from Venus episodes on YouTube. And we have now started to incorporate Spotify and other podcasting channels where you frequent or may frequent. So, true luxury is the ability to be still and fully aligned, knowing your worth and knowing that your worth is non-negotiable. Before I deliver the final lash of the night, I want you to sit with these two last questions. And seriously, if you feel inclined or whatever you may feel, leave a green heart. Let's build something here. Okay? Question number 6. Why do we feel so guilty when we finally choose internal peace over external chaos? I think we talked about this last week during our episode of Lyrically Lost and Found in Love. And possibly the episode before that, it was mentioned about choosing yourself. But this question, why do we feel so guilty when we finally choose internal peace over external chaos? Some of us may be people pleasers. Some of us may have some other type of trauma that leads us to not use our voices as we possibly could. I don't know. That's a deep question. Question number 7. What does the most stable, anchored version of your future self look like? And what is stopping you from stepping into your future self or yourself? today takes us to the final ash of the night. So I want to say, flash on. I want to remind you that architecture takes time. I could go cliche and say Rome wasn't built in one night and all that good stuff. I'm not going to. I think I just did. But anyways, architecture takes time. But a building only stands as high as its foundation goes deep. Challenge time to stop surviving the weather and start mastering and planning your inner peace. Inner peace is something that we all have. Whether you know it or not. And if you don't know that, that means you haven't found it yet. So I want to remind you all to keep going. Each day is a new day. Forget about yesterday. Don't think about tomorrow. Each day is a day. Live that day. Flash over. Again, this is episode 12 of Vibes from Venus. This has been an incredible journey, and I want to thank all of you who have taken this ride with me around the galaxy. It has been tremendous, and I cannot wait to see you guys next season. It's going to be phenomenal. I feel a backstage pass going on. By the way, episode 14 will be coming out soon, which is our season finale. As of course, I can't end it on 13. I don't like odd numbers anyways, but just remember, next week we're going to be doing a phenomenally posh backstage pass to season 2 of Vibes from Venus. Not going to give the name away because I think I did in a previous episode, and if you don't remember, then I think you should go back and watch. But anyways, it's been fun. Continue to orbit, and I shall see y'all next week. Take it easy.
These are vibes from Venus, where the mind learns how to breathe. We sit with truth, unpack the feelings, and let the soul speak honestly.